Welcome to Built on Air, a podcast and video series about all things Airtable. In this episode, Mariam Hakobyan gives us a deep dive into Softer.io, a platform for creating customized front-end solutions powered by Airtable. Softer allows users to create websites, web apps, and client portals complete with out-of-the-box user account management capabilities. Sporting a flexible user interface, Softer even allows you to show or hide page sections or whole pages from unauthenticated users. We talk about more of the platform's current features as well as new ones on the horizon, like the ability to edit Airtable data directly from within Softer.
Okay, you can see Softer's website, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just go over quickly on the website and talk about use cases a bit, and then happy to also showcase one of the use cases. So right now, we're updating our website. It's quite old already, but right now what it says is you can build powerful websites, web apps, and client portals on Airtable in 10 minutes, really without like zero learning curve. This is really kind of one of the core propositions we have. And the different use cases that you can build is listings, any types of directories in reality, and also membership directories. So putting authentication on top of that. You can also have paywalls in front of that, then upvoting sites like product hunts, job boards, some examples here, online courses, food delivery, marketplaces, simple websites as well, static websites. I'm not going to go through each other, and the portals are not listed here, by the way. These are new ones that we haven't added yet, but
Sure.
Basically it can also be employee portals within an organization or customer client portals that someone within their organization, let's say, collects some stores projects, tasks, and then they share it with their own clients to kind of update and have different controls as a client instead of having control over everything. Or then also you could decide what gets updated, what gets viewed, etc. So as a use case, right now I'm gonna show this one simple one which I built just to show kind of the membership capability. So basically on Softer, on every website you're building, you can add authentication, meaning login, sign up, flow, etc. You could also have Stripe payments. So you could also restrict specific content on the page, either on page level or block level, based on logged in user status or different attributes of the user or the paywall as well. So if someone, for example, has paid for a specific course, only then they see this course. If someone is a member, only then they see the data behind the login. So in this case, what it does is basically, it's a simple page which doesn't show courses. And then here I can say sign in or sign up. So in this case, I have a user. I'm just gonna sign in with my user. And then only in this case, I see the list of courses. I can click on a course. We see the course or we watch the video. So this one, yeah, if we change on the backend, it's gonna also allow me watching. I can quickly filter through the inline filters that are given to me. And all of this is out of the box already coming from Softer. I can just search for a specific item. And then what I can do as well is, and the search, by the way, also works on any field. You can choose, that's something that you can configure. And then, yeah, I can also just see all of the different information. I could also potentially click on a specific list item and see more details on the details page. I'll just very quickly show that example as well. And then let's move on to the building. So we have one other example, which is a real estate listings directory. So in this case, I have all of these real estates nicely laid out, and then I can filter, of course, but I can also go to a specific details page. And then here there is a nice details page where you can showcase like all of the images of this apartment, and then some more information, and you can add as many fields as you like, as much information as you like to show. And then if I'm interested, I can apply and see, yeah, do a specific query and try to buy it or something like that. So now let's just go back to the editor, to the application itself. So when I log into Softer, I'm able to create a new application by clicking on this button. I could choose from website examples, which are the static websites. And then I can also say a web app, create a web app, which offers all of the different templates we have currently. So in this case, I have already a template that I have made. So I'm going to just use that and show how to add on top the authentication, the membership, and then allow people seeing a specific page only when they are logged in. So in this case, I have this homepage, which has this sign up, sign in buttons. And then I have courses page, which right now is empty. So right now we're going to create the front end to map it to my Airtable for the courses, and then show how basically we hide behind the gated content.
Sure.
Let me just open this. So I have my startup school template. So it's a template that we have from one of our templates. I have my Airtable base set up already. There is titles, speakers, etc., and also the video and an image from YouTube. So what I'm going to do here, here basically the main concept software has is building blocks. So everything is built using these building blocks. As you can notice, there is header, hero, feature section, and for each section we offer different layouts already pre-built for you. You can change all of the design, everything kind of is customizable to the level that makes sense. So there is kind of nice grain between customizability and ease of use. So we try to kind of find the balance where it's that people really need to customize and where they don't need to really. And the reason doing that is because everything that you build on software is automatically also responsive. It looks really nice on every other platform, so you don't need to care about that. So what I'm going to do is basically here, I'm going to add a new block, which is for the web app functionality, it's list. I'm just going to the list group and then choosing one of these existing pre-given building blocks. So I'm going to choose the one that has video in it. And here, basically, I have the skeleton now. And what I need to do is just mapping this to my Airtable base. So here, I'm going to select my Airtable base. Let's say startup school template, which is the one that I'm using. Select the table. And then I can also choose a default view. Let's choose the one that we have. I can decide based on which field I need to filter. I need to sort, sorry. I can decide how many items per page I want to show. And then let's move to the next one, and then I'll come back to these conditional filters because it's also something really interesting. So these inline filters are the ones that are shown here. I can decide to show them on top, on the left, or on the right hand side. Let's show on the left. And then here I'm going to choose based on which field I want this filter to work on. So in this case, it's going to be, if we look at the Airtable base, it's subject is the grouping. So I'm going to use that in my mapping. Sorry. Subject. And then here, I'm just going to copy the data. So we just need to enter the values manually because Airtable API doesn't provide right now all of the values. And then, so basically, if you see anything I'm changing on this right-hand side, immediately shows up here on the left side. So also the same if we were to change the text here, so you see it gets updated immediately.
Got it.
So here, let's go back to the filter to the mapping of the list. Here on the search area, I could also decide to not show the search, but then here I can decide based on which field I want this to be searched. So in this case, I will say title. That's good enough. And now list item is basically each item. So anything I map here is automatically going to map the data from the Airtable database to the front end. So let's say for the image video, I'm going to show the image. For the title, let's show the title. For the subtitle, let's show the description. It shows up here. And yeah, that's it. So I have all of the mapping done already. And yeah, empty state. And then on action, I could decide what happens once the user clicks on a specific list item. One thing, so right now it's just going to open a media because it's a YouTube link. I want it to show the YouTube link, the YouTube video. I could also say open external URL that automatically again can come, the data can come from Airtable, or open another page. And then here, this could be a details page, for example. I could create one kind of template details page. And then once I say open details page, it's going to work for each item. So I don't need to repeat that. But for now, let's say open media. Okay. So now basically we are done. Let's just preview and see how it looks like. Yeah, so I can already filter by specific category. I can search for a specific category. And then, yeah, I can see all of the information. So now let's close this. And I want to show as well that almost everything basically here is customizable. You can change the image sizes, the colors, the background, the roundness of the cards, and also the colors of all of the filters. So let's say to match the entire design, I'm going to change the colors here to nicely match. Here you see the change. And then the hover background, let's leave it as it is, and then the border as well to what I have on top, so it looks a bit nicer. Yeah, all of these elements are configurable. You see on the back end there is colors, like there is images you can put. We have integrated illustrations, images from pixels, and lots of other cool stuff, but I'm not going to go into details for that. And also one important thing right now is that I want to hide this courses page, because basically in the pages list, this home page is visible to everyone. I want to make it so that courses page is only visible to the logged in users. So the way to do it, I'm going to go to page settings blog area. And then in the visibility area, I'm going to define that it's only visible to the logged in users and save it. So now you see the log here. And we'll verify this in a minute. Before we move on, I'm going to show also one thing here that is very important, the conditional filters. So these conditional filters help define, pre-filter your list before the user sees it. So as an example, I could say, show all of these, show the list that has the user of the logged in email. So let's say if I, as a user, as an employee, only want to see my tasks or my projects, then you can filter it accordingly. I could say here it doesn't match that very much because I don't have the email of the user in these cards. But sure. Basically, yeah. So the idea is that based on users' attributes, the one who is logged in, you can filter anything here, whether it's a role, as an example, if it's an employee manager logging in, depending on their role, you are able to show different data. Okay, cool. So now let's go back to home. So here, so what I do in order to show a different header once the user is logged in, because it doesn't make sense to show sign up and sign in, I'm going to just duplicate this header. And for the second one, I'm going to remove the buttons. So basically the way it works is, this is the sidebar to change the header. I have all of my links defined here. I have the buttons. I'm just going to remove the buttons. So you see they're gone. And then I'm going to say show user profile. And then in this case, this icon appears, the user profile icon. And by default, it has the sign out button. So what I want to say is basically, once the user is not logged in, show this first header. And then if the user is logged in, only the second header. So basically for the first header, I just clicked on it. I'm seeing now the sidebar for the first header. I'm going to this small icon, which is for defining the block visibility. And then I'll say show this first header only to the non-logged in users. And then for the second header, I'm doing the same action for logged in users. So as you can see, there is these logs appearing here. So you can define really granular permissions and visibility rules. So based on a block and based on a specific page, on a page level.
Got
it.
So
right now, the logged in user shouldn't be able to see these buttons, but we will check in a minute. And then before we are done, we need to also create sign in and sign up pages. So that's really simple. So we just create sign in, And for now, I'm not gonna design it that much, but I could also have my own. Yeah, let me just go ahead. First
So
of all, I don't want.
before we get into that, I noticed you just made a page and the footer and the two headers showed up
Exactly,
automatically.
exactly.
That's very nice.
Yes, and if I don't want that to happen, because on sign-in page, ideally, I don't want any header, right? So what I'm gonna do is going to the specific page settings and then define that default header and footer are not visible on this. Maybe the footer makes sense, but the headers does not. Okay, and now I don't have the header.
Cool.
So, so now let's add the sign-in block. So in order to have the entire sign-in workflow, I'm just gonna choose user accounts section. And then here there is different forms for sign in, sign up, user profile, password forget, reset password, etc. So I just need the sign in. And then I could also, of course, upload my logo, change background color, etc. All of the design components, like I can change the style of this element, the buttons, etc. But for now, let's just go with the default version. So what I need to do here is on the sign-in form, it defined that I have these two fields, right? And then the sign-in button, so on the action, it already has pre-built for you the sign-in action. So you don't have to do anything. In the future, we will also allow modifying and maybe, let's say, adding another action like sending an email or something similar. But basically, all of the things are kind of pre-built for you. You don't have to care and build it from scratch. And then once I click on this button, here you can define what happens after page, which page is opened after sign-in button is clicked. And instead of home, we want to redirect them to the courses page. Of course, here I could also have the forget password and show the sign up button to sign up the users if they don't have accounts. But let's come back to this a bit later. And now we have our sign-in page. So now we also need to have sign up, because if the people are not signed up, they need to be redirected to this page. Again, same thing here. Let's remove the headers. So here, let me add the sign up block. On the user accounts, again, I'm going to select sign up form. And here, as you can see, there is also the name that it asks. I can just remove that. I don't need it for now. The sign up action is predefined again. And then terms and conditions if I not need that. And page after sign up. So let's say if I sign up for the first time, again, I want to redirect the user to the courses page because they have a membership now. And then for when I click on this button, the action should be, it should take me to the sign in page, obviously, for the sign in button. And then let's go back to the sign in page and define this button, because right now we have already the sign up page, which says open page, sign up. As you can notice, there is also other options here. Scroll to section inside the same page or open external URL. But for now, we're going to go with open page. And what we need to do right now is going back to home page and defining that, these buttons redirect to the correct pages. So here on the right-hand side, I have button sign up and sign in. For the sign up, it's actually pre-built already because I have already done this once and then deleted it. But basically what you do is open page and select a specific page that you want it to be redirected to. So now we need to check if that works. Let's publish. And so as you can see, because I think I have signed up with this user already, just also go back to the editor and let's show that there is already a user like this. So I have a user already with this sign up just from my previous demo. And so let's say this is the homepage when I'm not signed in, right? I see this, also section which says create your free account to have access to the classes. And now if I want to open the classes page where the URL through the URL, which was courses, you can see it doesn't allow me to see the pages because I'm not logged in. So now let's go back to this page and click sign in because I do have the user account already created. sign in. Now I'm redirected to this other page, courses, where I see all of the data because I'm a member now. Of course, here I could also say, show only the courses that belong to me, or I have paid for those specific courses, or the projects that I'm part of, etc. So there are lots of variations you could have. But on top, I think, this is also important to show that you see now we don't see the other header, which was the buttons, sign in and sign up. And instead we see the profile icon, which says you could sign up, sign out, and then I see the homepage. So that's in short, basically what, like within just 5-10 minutes, we already built kind of a membership site.
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
was
one
very
thing,
quick.
And one thing to add as well. So all of the users that sign up here are stored on software. There is a data tab where you see all of your users. There is two possibilities to have users on the test data mode, meaning once you preview and let's say you have made the changes and you don't want to publish them because you are not ready yet, you could just preview and test your changes in the test mode. And then once you are ready, you publish, and then the real users you will see in this page. And also the important thing and interesting thing is that here all of the users are not detached from Airtable. So they could sign up here using our sign in, sign up page, but you could also have those users in Airtable already before using software. And then what you need to do here is you just connect your Airtable specific users table to this, and then it automatically populates all of the data to here, and then all of your Airtable users are able to use the application on software. And the reason we also have these users here instead of just relying purely on Airtable is because you don't want to store your passwords on Airtable, right? So software takes care of all of the security aspects of that. It stores here the email and just the name and the password behind, which is not visible to anyone. And then all of the other information that you need related to users, you could store in Airtable and then just nicely use that data that comes from Airtable in all of your listing pages. I hope that makes sense. And yeah,
Makes
that's
sense
basically
to me.
it.
That is super cool. And as you were going through, things seemed to make sense to me. The way the user interface was kind of designed. I like that headers and footers just appear by default. There's a great many services that build websites and web apps that let you have a default header, if you will, but you have to add it to each page. And it's just such a nice little thing to just be there by default.
Exactly.
As the name would imply. Very nice. And we obviously did that over the course of one episode. The first 10 or so minutes weren't even you doing anything. We were just talking. And in that time span, very quickly able to bring in data from Airtable and then edit the design on the fly. It seems very responsive, both in time it takes to show the changes to you and responsive in terms of things adjusting to the size of the screen.
Yes,
very
exactly.
nice. You guys are constantly making announcements for new features that are being added and whatnot. What are some of the newer sort of additions to software?
The bigger changes basically are now allowing more powerful functionality of filtering. So you could pre-filter lists based on different components like user's email, logged in status, and all of the other attributes like roles, company name, etc. So it really enables lots of different use cases for internal company use cases or also just individual. And then other things that we just released recently are dynamic fields on the details page, and also right now releasing on Monday, dynamic fields on the lists themselves. So right now you saw these pre-made blogs that we offer. The layout can be customized in colors and designs. They were static to some extent so far, but right now you could also add as many fields as you like, as many types as you like. So whether it's header, separator, text, single text, or rating or button, you can do all of that. So it really makes it customizable to an extent you really need, like whatever you want to do. And the more interesting thing coming up is really editing, updating data on the front end. So right now, all of the things I showed you was mainly reading data and showing in software application, right? So what's coming soon is also allowing people to update their profiles, to update their listings, etc. All of that kind of back, so the communication back to Airtable, which is one thing which most of the not many applications are doing, and this is really making it more user friendly and more powerful for the users and users.
Sure. So going beyond just displaying data,
Exactly.
but being able to edit it from the front end. And because software allows you to only show a logged in user's specific records that are related to them, you kind of get around one of Airtable's main sort of limitations in that their permission structures aren't very robust. You either can see everything and not edit, or you can see nothing. It's really how their permission structure works. But with you guys, once you add the functionality to edit records on the front end, you'll be able to say, here are all of your tasks or all of your projects. You can edit these and you won't even see all the other ones. And that would be a great benefit, I think.
And even beyond that, you could even define on your own what roles and permissions you want to have. For example, you could say, role 1 can edit all of the things, role 2 can, or employee can just edit the things that belong to them, or something beyond. So it's really going to be more granular. So it's even more customizable.
Yeah, that's great. And it might be out there. Feel free to say no. Would another role possibly be to submit potential changes and have them being held for review? I don't even know how you would do that.
Actually, you can do it right now in software. Let me just show a case.
Yeah, please. That would be cool.
Do you mean like adding new information back to Airtable?
Well, I can see a particular use case being, I have an employee who makes suggestions to edit certain content, and before those are like published, someone with a higher permission level would, click a checkbox.
Yeah. So what you can do right now, if that you can do right now even as well. So let's say we have this job board template, right? So it shows all of the jobs that are listed in Airtable. So I can add a new job, and like what you suggested, it could be a suggestion form or whatever. These forms are coming from software. You can also, of course, embed Airtable forms, but we have our own custom one as well.
Sure.
So I could create a new job and then submit. This automatically goes back to Airtable, but it goes behind. So let me just show you that. It doesn't go as approved. So there is a field which specifically will be shown. I don't have it here, but just to explain. So the job board Airtable base would basically show all of the fields and have one additional field which says approved or not. And then everything that goes back from here to Airtable is not approved. And then someone would manually go over, check all the new records, approve it. And then here, what happens on the first page, I have defined that it shows only the lists coming, the fields coming from the approved view. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes total sense.
I actually can show it here. Wait a minute. So the job board template we have. So this is our standard template. And here there is an approved field, approved. So once someone adds something, it comes and adds up to the list nicely. But then here I have two views, which says grid view and approved view. And the data on software's application is only showing the data from approved view. So unless I approve here, or I do any other action, really, it doesn't show up there.
Great, makes sense. And that answers my question.
Awesome.
This has been great. Thank you so much for demonstrating for us. Software is available now, right? People can just go ahead and sign up and make their own. Yeah, we will put the links in the description of this episode, wherever they may be. If there's anything else you would like to say, feel free.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for the invite. And happy to, if people have any questions or any use cases that they're not sure if they could build on software. We have an online chat we're available all the time. So just send us a message. And also you can find us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Facebook, with software.io name. Feel free to just follow us and also subscribe to our email list, because we are releasing every week, almost every week, but for sure every second week. So you will get much more updates very soon. Once you subscribe, you will hear about all of the updates.
We will put the links to all of those in the description. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you as well. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give it a like or hit us up on social at BuiltOnAir. We always love to hear your comments and suggestions. And don't forget to subscribe to catch new episodes when they release. It helps us keep the podcast going.